Hey guys, this is a really quick video again. I know I say that a lot, but this one I didn't plan out, didn't write, didn't even know I was going to record until I woke up this morning and saw the news on Twitter that Art Bell has passed away. Now, I don't know about you guys out there, but I can't imagine growing up in the 90s without listening to the Art Bell radio show. If you don't know who Art Bell is, he was the X-Files of radio. He hosted a radio show out of his own home in Pahrump, Nevada. He was like the first podcaster, but over the radio. What I loved about his show is that he would take calls from time travelers, aliens, people that saw UFOs, conspiracy theories. He talked about it all. And one thing I love that you don't really hear on at least radio nowadays, he wouldn't take screen calls. You just call his hotline number and he would answer. No phone screener, nothing. You never knew what you got to get. One night he just wanted werewolves to call him. One night he might have just had UFO people call him. Or, like I said, like time travelers. This was an amazing show. It felt like he was really part of something special when you listened to it. Because it would come on at like midnight and stay on till about 4 or 5 in the morning. It was very hard to cut off. I would stay awake all night listening to Art Bell. I remember this one time this guy called. And it's a very famous episode. A guy called and said that he was flying over in his aircraft over Area 51. You know, and he's describing to Art Bell what the base looks like from what he sees, and he's getting closer. He's talking about how some other airplanes are in the air now following him, or they've got a spotlight on him or something. And all of a sudden, the call cuts off. Well, not just the call cuts off, the whole radio program just cuts off. And it was dead. And maybe for 5 minutes or maybe 10 minutes, I don't remember exactly how long, a Best Of show appeared in its place, just randomly, like 2:30 in the morning, a Best Of show just started playing. What's going on? I mean, that's some spooky stuff when you're listening to it at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Did the government shut this guy down? Did they cut off Art Bell's radio show? Well, even Art said he didn't know what exactly happened, that he had some kind of satellite problem. But the timing was always very odd. The guy that said he was an airplane actually called back to Art Bell's radio show a couple of weeks later. Said it terrified him that he was just goofing off playing around, that he wasn't near Area 51. But it was still spooky. And today it still makes you kind of wonder, why did that radio show get cut off? I remember this one guy sent him a box of parts that he said was from the UFO crash at Roswell. And it was always a bunch of little weird looking pieces. And I think Art had them tested, and I don't know what they came back, but it was just always he'd do this every night, and it would come back, and it would always be something so strange and crazy, where if you listen to it, you're like, this is so unreal, but then something would happen to make you think, are these callers for real? And I remember staying up faxing him stuff, because I guess he didn't have email then in the early 90s, or maybe he did, or maybe he didn't read it on air, but I remember faxing to Pahrump, Nevada, you know, the little information I would find here and there. And then later I would join his website. He was one of the first websites I really went to back in the early 90s. I really loved this guy. I mean, I'll tell you this other story too one time. This is a great one here. I love this one. He was doing his radio show. Usually during the commercial breaks, he would go out, smoke a cigarette on his back porch. The show went to a break and came back again with the Best Of. Did the Men in Black show up at his house? Well, we didn't find out until probably the next day that Art forgot that they were remodeling his house, or at least his back porch, and his back porch was gone. So he went to smoke a break again. You know, this is probably 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. He opened his back door, stepped out on the back porch, and it wasn't there, and he fell to the ground. He didn't get hurt, so I feel okay laughing about it now. But it was just so odd. I can just imagine, this guy going out 1 o'clock in the morning like a cigarette, and he falls off his back porch. It's crazy. Like, you never knew what you're gonna get. Now, in the early 2000s, I think it was, he kind of retired from radio. He did some kind of comeback. I know he had a special on XM radio, but it only lasted like 1 or 2 episodes, and he quit because he said they was having problems with the phone. He just didn't want to deal with that. And I think he did a few things here and there. The show continued. The Coast to Coast radio show continued with a new host, George Norty, but it wasn't the same once they got a new host. The new host was doing it from a studio. The new host was screening calls. it just lost its magic. You know, it really felt, if you were an Art Bell fan listening to the radio back then, you really felt that you were part of this little small community that no one listened to. And it was nice. You know, I would drop my girlfriend off back then and probably be, 11, 12, maybe a little later. I would have about 20, 30-minute drive home. So you turn on the AM radio and just hear him. You know, he didn't do anything fancy. It was just him in his basement talking on the radio. I would, oh, I remember this one time a guy called and said he killed a Bigfoot, had it buried in his yard. It was very interesting to listen to. But man, it sparked my imagination really back there in the 90s listening to Art Bell. Like I said, Bigfoot, UFO. I remember this one. I remember there was this one people would call about a big hole they found in the ground that didn't have a bottom. I can't remember what they called that. There was a whole episode about a Bell Witch, not Blair Witch, but Bell Witch. I remember that episode, and one that this used to freak me out because I would, sometimes I would stay up all night playing video games or doing something, just listening to the show. Sometimes I would put it on while I went to bed. I wake up about 3 in the morning, and then he's got this guy on the show who goes around cemeteries recording audio from cemeteries, and you can hear faint in the background, some creepy voice or something. Oh, it would freak me out. Remember this one guy too would play audio clips backwards, and most of the time I can never hear it. But he said, if you listen real close, you can hear what he's really saying. Listen. And it wasn't never until the guy told me what to listen for that I could hear it. So at the time it amazed me, but now looking back I said, well, he kind of put it in my head what to listen to. I just wanted to kind of talk about Art Bell. I'm going to put some clips of his show after this right here. I'm not sure who out there listens to Art Bell, but I just saw this online. Like I said, I didn't write this out. I played this video. I just saw this online. And it really bummed me out because that's really, I wouldn't say it was my childhood because I was in my 20s, but my youth, a big part of my 90s. I see a lot of people talk about the 90s and they bring up all these old cartoons, all these old toys like I do, and old movies, but they don't bring up Art Bell. And he was a big part of the 90s, at least to me. And he was a very popular show, so it wasn't like it was just me, although it felt like a small community. It was it was the #1 radio show at night. But again, I just wanted to give some kind of video to Art Bell because I feel like I just couldn't go the day without saying something. So if you listen to Art Bell, please, in the comments below, let's share some memories of Art Bell. Tell me how you found him, what you liked about the show, what you hated about the show, your favorite show, whatever. Let's just remember Art Bell. And also on another sad note, I saw where Milos Forman, the director of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, passed away. I wasn't a huge fan of his, but Man on the Moon, the Andy Kaufman movie, is one of my favorite movies. I'm a big Andy Kaufman fan. And of course, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is a really good movie. So I hate to hear that also. So I just wanted to bring that up also. But Art Bell, man, I hate hearing that we lost Art Bell. The world needs an Art Bell today. So again, I'm going to leave this with some clips from his show. So here, if you don't know Art Bell, take a listen. If you know Art Bell, listen and remember some of these great clips. Thank you for listening, and I'm not going to plug anything. I'm just going to say, go Google, search out Art Bell. That's your job today. Just listen to as much Art Bell as you can. Thank you.
Online, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello, Art.
Yes.
Hi. I don't have a whole lot of time.
Well, look, let's begin by finding out whether you're using this line properly or not.
Area 51.
Yeah, that's right. Were you an employee or are you now?
A former employee.
Former employee.
I was let go on a medical discharge about a week ago, and I've kind of been running across the country. Oh man, I don't know where to start. They're gonna they'll triangulate on this position really soon.
So you can't spend a lot of time on the phone. So give us something quick.
Okay. Okay, what we're thinking of as aliens, Art, they're extra-dimensional beings that an earlier precursor of the space program made contact with. They are not what they claim to be. They have infiltrated a lot of aspects of the military establishment, particularly the Area 51. The disasters that are coming, the military, the government knows about them, and there's a lot of safe areas in this world that they could begin moving the population to now, Art.
But they're not doing anything.
They are not. They want the major population centers wiped out so that the few that are left will be more easily controllable.
Discharge.
I started getting...
In some way, something knocked us off the air, and we're on a backup system now.
To rip down the foundations of our nation by purporting Bigfoot. I mean, I can't believe you. Bigfoot. You're a grown man and you're taking this serious.
I love
What
Bigfoot.
is wrong with you?
I love Bigfoot.
Oh, don't get smart with me. You're just, you and your UFO nonsense, you're crazy.
I wish Bigfoot were my dad.
Oh, you know what? Bigfoot is of the devil, if he is anything.
Here we go.
It is demonic doings that are trying to confuse.
Demonic doings.
What's that?
From the devil, right?
As you are, and that caller that called the other night, you are Satan's mouthpiece. You
No,
just talk for the devil.
I'm
You're just trying to deceive Christians, but a Christian American.
Virtually the Antichrist.
I would say, sir, you're not actually the beast, but you're working for him.
I'm trying to help you here, sir.
You're trying to help me. Well, why don't you don't help me, and why don't you just get off the air and make way for good people like G. Gordon Liddy, Ollie North, and Rush Limbaugh?
How dare you, Mr. Bell? You know who this is?
I'm not sure yet. I'm listening to every little bit of tonal quality in your demon-filled voice.
How dare you? The rumors of J.C. Webster III's demise are greatly exaggerated and, in fact, defamatory, Mr. Bell. Defamation. Yes, I can sue you for that. I can take you to court and get every red penny out of your subscription service. And how'd you like that, huh?
Well, I didn't say you were dead. I said if I don't hear from you pretty soon, I'm going to conclude that you've passed on. That's all. There's nothing defamatory in that.
And you would delight in that, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Never mind.
All right, so tell us, JC, just stop. Let's find out what's been going on in your life. For example, you disappeared into the wilderness, virtually disappeared.
You've got your radio on, don't you? Turn your radio off.
Is this ARP?
Yes, it is. Extinguish your radio, please.
Okay, just a second.
Yes, turn your radio off.
Who's this?
What's your best guess?
Are you Art Bell?
No, I'm Harry. Turn off the radio. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Who am I calling?
Well, now, with regard to who you're calling, you would know more about that than I would.
I'm trying to reach Art Bell.
Who do you think you've reached?
Oh, I have no idea.
Well, you wanted what kind of pizza?
Oh, I don't want any pizza. No, thanks.
You did order one, anchovies, right?
No anchovies. I can't stand anchovies.
Are you sure you're canceling this order, then?
No pizza.
All right, fine.